Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Stacking Stupid. Today, I wanted to take a little bit of time and I wanted to define the parameters. I'm going to call this doing better. Okay. Well, let me expound on that. So, if you were going through, I don't know, maybe it was schooling or trying to get a job or looking for a life partner, you wouldn't. Hopefully, your attitude would not be to settle. It would be to do the best, to get the most fulfillment, the most accomplishment, job market, most, good money, and meaning behind what you're doing, what you're working on, okay? So as we're going through some of our talking points here with Stacking Stupid and talking about some of those foundational weaknesses, I want to be really clear that our goal, or at least what I'm suggesting, is that our goal should be to do our best. And we're going to fall short sometimes, right? Just like life, things are going to come up and we're going to miss that target. But it doesn't mean we should lower the target. It's to do the best and to do better than we did yesterday. And if we do that repeatedly over a prolonged period of time, you get excellent results. If you looked at or thought about maybe like a Michael Jordan, right? The way he was able to excel and get better from not having played organized basketball in early high school and then transitioning to college and national championships and then obviously in the NBA and one of the best players ever. He didn't get there by not challenging himself, taking what he was, where he was at the day before or the month or week or whatever time is progression, and saying, how do I improve upon that? How do I not settle? How can I do better? Right? Okay. So, why is this so important? Why do I think it's so important? Well, as we're trying to form a solution, I think it's part of that is understanding what shouldn't work, what we shouldn't accept. Maybe it means identifying, Mark, that we need to keep working on this. Okay, we need to keep working on this until we find a better. Maybe we put something in place temporarily, but we need to keep working on it. Or maybe it's no, this is just garbage. We didn't hit our goals, so go back to the drawing board. I think a really good framework would be the writing of our Constitution. They didn't do it in 3 months. They did it for however long it took to get, something that was fantastic, remarkable, a work of art, particularly for its time and day, right? So, doing better and do better. What does that mean? So when I'm thinking, let's get a little bit more minute. Maybe it's something as simple as what is our, I guess in my mind, I'm thinking a lot of it is in terms of where we are currently with some of our systemic issues. Maybe like a Black Lives Matter would be a great example. That's the core is, the message at the center of the Black Lives Matter is, hey, we should do better. Sure, maybe, I kind of believe that racism might be, at the lowest point that it's been in our known history, but it doesn't mean it's gone. And it doesn't mean we should stop trying to get it gone, and figure out some of that stuff. So think of it in that context, where it doesn't mean you stop trying altogether. It means you keep pushing for and looking for better ways. So why is this so important? Because I keep hearing, I'm going to break this a little bit into a Democrat versus Republican, because it's more like that conservative Republican is like, well, things are good, and they like to highlight the things that have worked and have gotten us, and all that has value, right? But it's only part of the story. It's only part of the story. Because, yes, that's all good, and yes, it worked yesterday, but where can we do better? Is there a better way? Just because we marketed one way yesterday doesn't mean I should stop trying to come up with something new and better and more, engaging. And then on the Democratic side, I think what I hear a lot, particularly way, the further left you go, is they don't seem to have executable solutions. So maybe the vision has, some nuggets of meat and potatoes, uh, but if you detach from reality and how you're going to actually do it, um, then what you don't have a solution, right? But it doesn't mean that you should give up the vision, right? So really, the answer is, how do you merge the two? How do you give credit for things that have worked, but understand that that's not the work for today. That was the work for yesterday. Okay, cool. Yesterday, what we did worked. That's great. What didn't work? Because that's what we should be focused on today. And then understanding within that context of historical wisdom, how do we put forth solutions that are going to drive us towards tomorrow? Where, a couple of days from now, we look back on tomorrow and say, hey, man, we got it right again, nailed it. All right, so we wrap it all together. When I say do better, I mean legitimately. Like, however good you do, it's about the philosophical vision and mindset, okay? That just because you got an A minus doesn't mean you stop studying. You go, how do I get an A? And when you get an A, how do I get an A plus? When I get an A plus, all right, how do I take a new class? When I see this, it doesn't mean don't relish it in that moment of success and live in that moment. But when it's done and you put it away, what comes next? And it's about the attitude of driving yourself towards finding real sustainable solutions versus complacency, which absolutely is not going to motivate any result. Okay? Now let's think about that, deconstruct that for a little moment. So, from a motivational standpoint, if you're telling yourself that you don't need to do better, okay, you have acknowledged and authorized the path of least resistance. Okay? Laziness, chaos theory. Okay, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to go to the gym. You're not going to put down the donuts. Okay, you're not going to study for the test. And whatever the results are, they're not going to be optimal. They're not going to be the best version of yourself or of that scenario. Then on the opposite side of that coin, if you had that mental vision and approach where, no, I'm going to find a way to do better. What it really motivates you to do is find the real solutions. It basically motivates innovation. Okay, so if your idea isn't going to get you there, you have to come up with a new idea. But that only happens if you're applying that directional, philosophical force to your ideas and concepts. So, do better. I challenge you, challenge myself all the time to do better and reinvent what that means. It's not about, if you're saying to yourself, I did it, okay, live in that moment for a little bit because you need that reward. But then tomorrow, how do I reinvent, my goals? How do I keep getting better? How do I keep driving? And I think that's a key fundamental concept that's going to keep coming up as we talk through Stacking Stupid. Is like, oh, we have this broken system. Yeah, well, fix it, man. Well, how am I going to fix it? Well, you didn't even try. Like, if you said something like that, how am I going to fix it? Granted, it's a good question. But if you didn't answer it, you actually skipped the work. All right, so thank you guys for joining me on this one. Feel free to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. And talk to you all soon.